Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about things happening that end up better than you expected. And um, so I feel like anytime if you reflect, especially obviously I can only talk from my personal experience, that, you know, if you take an example of when something turned out even better than you expected and you reflect upon, what you may have done or, how those circumstances aligned and whatnot, I think you'll find that a lot of times it is maybe what you haven't done that kind of made those circumstances align. And I think that you will find that, you probably had nothing to do with it. And that could probably be a little, I don't want to say frustrating or maybe perplexing, because a lot, it is natural for us to want to plan and to, want to kind of control, because we find a safety and solace in controlling things and wanting to plan things. And, if things end up this way, then this will happen, and this will happen. And it's really easy to get wrapped up in that. And, like we've always talked about, we have that funneled view, we have those blinders on. And the divine has the aerial view with no blinders. They're able to see the whole picture. And that is why that they are able to line up circumstances in our lives to have things work out even better than you had planned. And we are co-creators with the divine, so therefore we need to understand our part in, creating the circumstances or having something turn out the way you would like it, or even better than what you could have imagined. And our part, we have like a couple different parts, raising our vibration for sure. So we're raising, so we are vibrating at a high level. So anything we attract is a high level vibration. That is a big part, like probably the biggest part that we play. And that also, the other big part is releasing that resistance. And we have talked about this before, about letting go, about sometimes taking a break. And the reason why releasing that resistance is so important is because when we are in a state of resistance, of trying to plan, of trying to control, we can be sending out mixed vibrations, but also that's where like the suffrage happens of like just wanting to fit every piece into the perfect whole, getting the heart piece into the heart hole, the square piece into the square hole. And sometimes without realizing it, we can be trying to put the square peg in the round hole. Because to us, the hole looks square and this piece looks square, and it looks like this should fit here. It looks like this is the way that it should be. But what we don't realize is with our blinders on, with that limited view that we have, it can sometimes distort the shape. And we have to realize that the divine can always see clearly. We can have a lack of clarity because of the resistance and because of our ego and our beliefs and all these other things that are kind of coming into play when we are moving through circumstances in our life. And because of those things, they create like a clouded view, like kind of like that frosted view where the light can come in but you can't really see what's outside. That is kind of what we do by wanting to plan and having that resistance of needing things to go our way. So we need to keep our vibration high, release that resistance, and we also need to take the inspired action, because the divine can, of course, coordinate anything, move mountains. I mean, the divine is the energy that created worlds. So what is what you are trying to, I don't really like to say, but like what you're trying to manifest? What is that in comparison to the energy that moves worlds, that creates worlds, moves mountains? Nothing. You know, it's really nothing. It's very simple, very, you know, very small what you're asking for. So, aligned with that, we are kind of like the soldiers on the ground. So we do need to take some action, but it needs to be inspired action. We can't just be out there spinning our wheels and running and going, running in the directions that we think that we're supposed to go in to create what we want to create. We need to be getting quiet, aligning with the divine, and listening to what the divine is asking us to do, and asking us to, the action that the divine is asking us to take. Because that action, that if you listen to your intuition, and the action that your intuition, not your mind, is asking you to do or telling you to do, it is going to put you on like the accelerated path. I'm trying to think, like the express train, the express path. That's what I was looking for. And you kind of get to bypass a lot of like the bullshit that your human mind thinks that you should do. And like I said, like these messages are just as much for me. This is something that I truly need to embody in my life right now. You know, because like I've mentioned before, I'm very much in a season of change right now, and I need to be taking inspired action, and the universe has actually been sending me signs and telling me what I need to be focusing on and what I need to be doing. And I need to listen. Hello, like, let's listen. So, yes, because I've been kind of maybe turning my focus towards other things that are not exactly maybe going to put me on that express path to get that highest outcome, the highest possible outcome, when the divine has actually been sending me signs to focus my energy on something else, on, you know, another priority of mine. And I am on that track, but I'm getting the signs to focus more on something, to put more of my energy into something, and to kind of like let those other things rest and work themselves out. Because right now I feel like I'm in a shitstorm of like trying to do everything and trying to put a little bit of focus on a lot of different things. And I think that if I were to stop and to turn my focus completely into where the divine is telling me to put my focus, I think that those other things would kind of work themselves out without me having to do a lot. And I need to do that. I need to heed this message, and I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for these videos, because I learn so much, because these messages are coming through me. They are not coming from me. And it's part of, like, you know, I am creating and I am learning at the same time, and I love it. It feels so good. And, you know, I feel that it is, that I am like allowing myself to be a channel for these messages. And these messages, I hope, serve you, and I know they serve me. And I just really want to come from a place of sharing. You know, I am not here to tell you what to do. You know, it might sound like that in these videos, but these videos are just sharing of the inspired messages that I am getting as I do these videos. And I just want to, yeah, really come from a place of sharing that. And I really felt that this message of, you know, kind of how we can line ourselves up to having the highest possible scenario happen. The other thing we can do is we can imagine the highest possible scenario. So we can keep our vibration high, release that resistance, take inspired action, and another little part is we can visualize. And when you're visualizing, you know, I've heard that visualization that you should be very specific with details. So if you're imagining a house and you should be looking at the room and what's in the room, I think even more important than visualizing the specifics is to embody the feeling. You know, when the highest possible scenario happens of something that you want to create, how does that feel? What does it feel like to wake up in a house that you love? And, you know, what is it like to wake up with a fire in your belly to do your soul's highest joy every day? What does that feel like? You know, what does it feel like to create, to manifest, or to attract that perfect partner? What does it feel like to be in love? What does it feel like to be financially free? You know, that feeling of what that feels like is more important than the specific visualization. And I kind of like that because I can imagine the feeling, but sometimes I can't imagine the exact details, because a lot of times I want to throw it up to the divine, because the divine knows, and the divine is a way better creator than I am, you know, me as this human body. So I kind of like to give it to God and to say, God, okay, like, you know, this is what I'm looking for. This is the feeling that I'm looking for. And I want to see what you create, you know? And that is the place that I really like to come from. And that is the place that I will be coming from. And I'm going to put my focus on coming from now on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Anne. I hope this brought you some value, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you tomorrow.